Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, forces beyond your control keep blocking your progress? What if I told you that history holds a story where even powerful opposition couldn't stop God's plan, and that story might just mirror your life today? In Ezra 06, the temple's reconstruction faced obstacles, delays, and interference, yet through faith, strategy, and divine timing, it was completed. Imagine discovering a blueprint for victory hidden in plain sight, showing you how persistence, guidance, and God's providence work together. Stick around, because what you're about to read and see might just change how you approach your own challenges and breakthroughs. Then, let's read the chapter together. King Darius then issued an order, and they searched in the archives stored in the treasury at Babylon. A scroll was found in the citadel of Ecbatana in the province of Media, and this was written on it. Memorandum. In the first year of King Cyrus, the king issued a decree concerning the temple of God in Jerusalem. Let the temple be rebuilt as a place to present sacrifices, and let its foundations be laid. It is to be 60 cubits high and 60 cubits wide, with 3 courses of large stones and 1 of timbers. The costs are to be paid by the royal treasury. Also, the gold and silver articles of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took from the temple in Jerusalem and brought to Babylon, are to be returned to their places in the temple in Jerusalem. They are to be deposited in the house of God. Now then, Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, and Shetharbozenai, and you other officials of that province, stay away from there. Do not interfere with the work on this temple of God. Let the governor of the Jews and the Jewish elders rebuild this house of God on its site. Moreover, I hereby decree what you are to do for these elders of the Jews in the construction of this house of God. Their expenses are to be fully paid out of the royal treasury, from the revenues of Trans-Euphrates, so that the work will not stop. Whatever is needed, young bulls, rams, male lambs for burnt offerings to the God of heaven, and wheat, salt, wine, and olive oil, as requested by the priests in Jerusalem, must be given them daily without fail, so that they may offer sacrifices pleasing to the God of heaven and pray for the well-being of the king and his sons. Furthermore, I decree that if anyone defies this edict, a beam is to be pulled from their house and they are to be impaled on it. And for this crime their house is to be made a pile of rubble. May God, who has caused his name to dwell there, overthrow any king or people who lifts a hand to change this decree or to destroy this temple in Jerusalem. I, Darius, have decreed it. Let it be carried out with diligence. Then, because of the decree King Darius had sent, Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, and Shetharbozenai and their associates carried it out with diligence. So the elders of the Jews continued to build and prosper under the preaching of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah, a descendant of Iddo. They finished building the temple according to the command of the God of Israel and the decrees of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, kings of Persia. The temple was completed on the 3rd day of the month Adar, in the 6th year of the reign of King Darius. Then the people of Israel, the priests, the Levites, and the rest of the exiles, celebrated the dedication of the house of God with joy. For the dedication of this house of God they offered 100 bulls, 200 rams, 400 male lambs, and, as a sin offering for all Israel, 12 male goats, 1 for each of the tribes of Israel. And they installed the priests in their divisions and the Levites in their groups for the service of God at Jerusalem, according to what is written in the book of Moses. On the 14th day of the 1st month, the exiles celebrated the Passover. The priests and Levites had purified themselves and were all ceremonially clean. The Levites slaughtered the Passover lamb for all the exiles, for their relatives the priests, and for themselves. So the Israelites who had returned from the exile ate it, together with all who had separated themselves from the unclean practices of their Gentile neighbors in order to seek the Lord, the God of Israel. For 7 days they celebrated with joy the festival of unleavened bread, because the Lord had filled them with joy by changing the attitude of the king of Assyria so that he assisted them in the work on the house of God, the God of Israel. Let's say a quick prayer to thank the Lord for his mercy. Hey God, Thank you for opening my eyes through this study of Ezra 06. Thank you for showing me how faith, persistence, and your guidance can turn obstacles into breakthroughs. Help me take what I've learned today and apply it in my everyday life, whether in my work, relationships, or personal growth. Give me wisdom to act with patience, courage to follow your guidance, and joy in every step of restoration you lead me through. I trust you to work through me, just like you worked through those faithful ones long ago. Amen. Now that we've explored the completion and dedication of the temple, ask yourself, where in your life do you need restoration, guidance, or a fresh start? Could you, like the elders in Ezra 06, take small but deliberate steps of faith to see a long-delayed dream come to life? Think about it. What would change if you trusted the process, followed wise counsel, and allowed providence to guide your efforts? Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced a temple moment where persistence and faith paid off? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next video, packed with insights to help you apply these timeless lessons in your everyday life. And, as always, don't forget to check the last video and learn more about the scriptures.